Okay, everybody, I am going to do the cake room video, and I decided just to start it by walking in the front door. And the first thing I had to do is make sure my dog didn't join me. So as you walk in the front door, I guess let's start right here to the right of the desk area, and I've got my Cricut and the edible image printer. And a couple little goodies down here, which is the little solid grip holder for your phone to do the Camera Lucida app or to take pictures. And then I've got the little projector. So fun times will be had with that. Okay, so now we come over to the desk area. And I've got my little lamp and Bluetooth speaker, a little remote holder, and then just some other little random things here. One of which is my little handy dandy magnifying headlamp, which is awesome. This thing, you put it on and you can see ridiculous detail. So that's a cute little toy to play with. And then we come over to my little magnet board and my computer area. And then the TV is hung up on the wall. And you can actually move it around out and against the wall. You can move it out, you can move it up and down, which is really cool if I wanted to watch a video or whatnot when I'm working. And then over here is kind of a little makeshift bookshelf. I have plans to put a window seat in right in this area with a little bench, but then underneath it it's a bookshelf. But I haven't got that far because I've got to paint it and put the little cushion on it. Then I have my nice little cute purple curtains. As you can see, I have little purple fetish. And then over here, just some random things up on the top of this little pantry of sorts, I guess. And inside here mainly is gum paste, some royal icing, things to make gum paste. One of my favorite new gum paste to play with is the platinum paste. But I've got a collection of just about every kind of gum paste there is because I love to make flowers. So I've got some Squires, I have Renshaw, Chocopan, which I don't really care for that much, but, and then I've got Nicholas's commercial gum paste, and some satinized gum paste. So depending on how quick or thin or what I'm going to do with the gum paste, depends on what kind I use. And then down here is the royal icing. My favorite ever is Dawn Parrott's royal icing. This stuff is just excellent, so if y'all have not tried it, I recommend you try it. Let's see, down here, then I've got some little rags, and then my steamer, some parchment, baggies, and then this cute little toy here, which is my Sugarville air pen, which that's fun to play with royal icing. And then I've got this other little Sugarville vacuum pickup tool, which is awesome for dragees, however you want to pronounce it. And then down here are all my gloves, and then my wafer paper, icing sheets. And then let's see, it's back to the desk area. Of course, my purple chair, which I just adore. It was the last thing I just put together for the room. And then in this cabinet here, I've got all my Cricut stuff, some more craft stuff, which some like quilling tools, my little laminator, just random crafty stuff. And then in here I've got my little wax candle, smelly good things, and my PayPal and Square Reader, my little iPad. And then over on this side of the desk is kind of more just my desk stuff. You know, pencils, pens, notes, my business cards, Oh, and my favorite little thing ever, which I failed to mention, was my little badass button. It's just pretty cute. And then over here, I've got a ridiculous collection of cutters. I won't go into detail on this cabinet, but these are pretty much my shapes, and I've got back there my foliage and leaves, some sunflowers and daisies, and a bunch of different random plastic cutters. And then we come over here to my little work table, and of course I've got my Ag Bay, which is the best thing ever, and the new innovative SugarWorks turntable, which is cute as hit button, and some more gloves and paper towels. And then here I've got my big silicone mat, and then underneath that I've got my cutting table. So depending on what I'm doing, you know, depends on what surface I'm working on. And then I love this little T-square thing, so when you move the silicone out of the way when you're cutting, this is a handy dandy little tool. And then if you're making fondant ribbons or something, you can move this and straighten it, whatnot. So all sorts of little goodies to be had with that. Okay, and then we come over here, and this is pretty much my flower section. I tried to keep everything, depending on what medium I'm working with, I tried to keep everything sort of together. I mean, obviously some tools you use for multiple mediums, but over here is pretty much flower related. I've got all my petal dusts over here, and up here I've got my tips. These are all my random tips, Atiko and Wilton, and then this is my Mac Daddy tips, which I use most of the time, and these are my PME tips. And then I've got a little crazy with the label maker, but you know, I use quite a bit of royal icing, so I've got probably 4 or 5 of each size of tip there. So there's that little basket, and then over here, again, mostly flower related. And obviously for the gals that went to the PME class with me at Nicholas Lodge's studio, these are a lot of his little holders and tools that we used in this class, which I really fell in love with. And again, these are just kind of all my flower tools. Some foam up there, little foam pieces, and then my glaze. And then up here, I've got just a collection of cakes, mostly from classes I've taken, and obviously they're all dummies. And back down over here, I've got my fondant smoothers over in this little bin. I've got my fondant stamper, which is really cool. If you guys want to know, there's a guy that I ordered them from, which is really cool. And basically it's a stamper to stamp on your cakes in 2 different sizes, depending on what size cake I'm doing. Over here, let's see, just fondant smoothers, and then over here I've got some quilling tools. I've gotten into like a lot of paper quilling, so that's basically the quilling tools for that. And then my water brushes and Everclear water sprayers, obviously on my floral tape. And then here is just a collection of little hooks and stuff that I just kind of put in here just to get out of the way. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use them for yet, but anyway. Here's my little bowls and cups to mix, to use for dust and paints. My little gum paste rollers, spatulas, my little palette knives, just a couple little tools that I use a lot. I try to keep, you know, out handy where it's accessible all the time. And then here's my marble board for when I'm doing chocolate. And then let's come back over here to the side, and in this drawer I've got my label maker and just this is shelf liner and the rubber bands. That's about what all is in there. And then over here, I've got more cutters. I'm a little crazy with my cutters, and actually my daisies are in this one. And then these are mainly all my plunger cutters. And then there's acrylic cake pop stands, which I like to use to hold my flowers in for display. This is actually some extra petals and pieces of flowers that I haven't been assembled yet, that I'm just, I just kind of keep there. And then, this is one set of drawers, and this is mainly, again, all for flowers and royal icing. So down here, I've just got some couplers and some pastry tools, foil, and then some, these little things actually came out of this handy dandy little holder, which is pretty awesome, which I'm still gonna separate and put cutters in, which that's nice. I got that at Joann's, if anyone wants to know. And I will try to put a link to whatever anyone wants to know where I got something. Just let me know and I'll give you a link. The supply guru, as you can see. And then of course a couple little icing stands. And here I've got just different flower formers, flower pins, mainly working for the buttercream flowers, which I do every once in a while. And then here more gum paste tools and just random little items. And then in this drawer I've got my, these are awesome to put around your flowers. Again, this is one thing I fell in love with at Nicholas Lodge's class. It's for like when you make huge flowers that just have a single stem. It's pretty cool. And then all my stamens and pollen in that drawer. And then back down the bottom, all my parchment in this drawer. And then here's all my pastry bags and disposable piping bags for buttercream and pastry. And when I'm like icing with the big icing tips or something. And then here's all my pastry tips and pastry couplers. And then my royal icing bags and some disposable small bags for candy, chocolate, or just when I want to use disposable. Most of the time I don't use disposable, but it depends on what I'm doing. And then here I've got some more my first gum paste tool set, which I just kept it in here. I don't know why, but I rarely even use that one. And then my some extra foam sheets and boards for flowers. And then this one is all my scalpels and X-Acto knives. And then when you pull it, let me put this thing back in here. Okay, so if you pull this out, and they have wheels that lock, but with this laminate flooring, sorry about that, it still kind of slides. But at the top here, I have more paint. These are the edible paints, and the edible art paints, which are awesome. And then, so a mixture of edible arts and Squire paints. And then this is another little scalpel set and petal dust. These are great for when you're doing figurine modeling. It's kind of expensive little palette, so that's pretty much what I use them for. And then over here is just some foam pads and trays. So we'll slide that back in here. I'm sorry if I'm trying to keep this as steady as I can and move at the same time, so sorry if I'm making a mess of this video. But next we've got more flower, just foam pads and the little mats to put the flowers in to dry, and then of course your handy dandy size guide if you use that at all, which I've gotten kind of used to it after Nicholas Lodge's gum piece class. It's pretty awesome actually when you get used to it. And then here are more formers. A lot of which are just depending on what I'm doing. You know, leaves or some foam, and then just empty paper towel things are awesome sometimes. And actually, these are noodles that have been cut, and those are again used to form the egg crates. Just random assortment, and then some more formers and styrofoam buds. Again, mostly this is all for flowers. And then down here, I've got all of my my wires, which I still have yet to sort through these. What I kind of want to do is put them in some sort of container by size. I just haven't gotten that far yet. And then let's see, we're gonna move over to, again, up the top. Starting over here, let's see. This is kind of my quilling area. These little few hooks up top. That's all quilling paper here. Just all different sizes and colors. And then all my little quilling tools are in here. Again, more paper. And then here's some random more quilling tools and like paper folders, crimpers, measuring tape, and then the little glue pins, which are awesome. And then here I start with my paint section, and obviously the Pro Gels are awesome, especially when you're making gray fondant. This is the way to go, is to use that instead of trying to come up with a gray, which sometimes can be difficult. That's a perfect way to make gray fondant. And then we're gonna start all my paintbrushes. I've got different sets, and I try to keep different sets for different colors. So all my reds, I use for one set of brushes. All my blues, orange, you know, you name it. Just I try to use separate brushes for every color. And then of course the sizes. You know, I've got my flat brushes and then pastry brushes, and my little dusting brushes, which are my little unicorn ones, which are just too cute. And then I've got my little markers. These are all my edible markers. And then these are really great. If you ever want to watch a really neat class, her name's Lindy Smith on Craftsy, and she uses these pens. They're for doodling, but these are liquid writers, and you put paint in them. And they have, one's kind of a medium tip and one's a really fine tip. But so basically what you do is you put the paint down in this little well, and what's really cool is you can hold it like this and write like horizontal, like you can put the cake there and just write or doodle, and it doesn't spill. Like you could literally go like that and the paint will come out. It's magic. I don't know how it works, but it's just really awesome. So that's a cool little tool to use. Like I said, Lindy Smith has a class. I think it's called Contemporary Cakes or something, Contemporary something, and it's, again, a really neat class to take. And let me put the lid on here real quick. You know what, I'll just leave it there. And then all the Sharpies and like doodling pens and all that kind of nonsense, and tape, scissors. And then over here I've got the refills for the PME edible markers. So when it runs low, then you can pick them up and refill them, which is pretty cool. That's these edible pens. So there's that. Okay, next we've got my little handy dandy glue gun holder, which I love. I've got a couple small glue guns, but I've pretty much just gotten used to the big one because it just lasts forever and works really well. Let's see. These are my locker shelves made into flower drying racks. Again, this is one little thing we learned, or, you know, a lot of these ideas came from Nicholas Lodge's studio when I went to his 2-week class. As you'll see, probably a lot of his products, I kind of raided his gallery. So yeah, I kept him in business for a while. But anyway, you basically just take a piece of plywood and cut it, and then just take a locker shelf, which again you can get really cheap, and just, you know, bolt it down to the board, and it's pretty cool. And then here is all my modeling equipment. I've got just a bunch of clay tools that are really neat. I don't sculpt clay or anything, but a lot of the sculpting tools are great for modeling and texturizing. Like, I mean, just one of these like little random tools is really cool. Just to, I mean, there's just so many different things you can do with clay tools. I mean, I just like to sit there and play and see what this tool will do to a piece of fondant or buttercream. And then my sugar shapers, obviously, which everyone should have a set. I've got all 4 sets, just depending on, you know, what I'm doing. Depends on what tool I use, obviously. And then I've got these big shaper tools, which are the rubber ones. And then these are one of my little favorite gadgets. These are the really small rubber shapers. Let's see here. And then, of course, you're just normal everyday modeling tools. And then I've got back here my big tall brushes that I had to kind of hide because they wouldn't fit on the little shelves. And then we move over to all the pixie dust, disco dust, sparkle dust. Anything sparkly or glittery is over in this area. And then here's some extras that wouldn't fit on my shelves. And obviously this is the shelves that you would find for nail salons. And then I just love my little lamp here. It's charging right now, but it's just, you know, cute little little handy little lamp that I just thought was adorable. And it's got a 3-way light, which really okay, now in this drawer here there's just some more random stuff. Little sixlets, which when you're want a snack, there you go. And then more rubber bands. Not a whole lot in that drawer, just random, obviously, because it's kind of in a way to where I wouldn't want to open these that often, because I've got my little mini fridge right here, and it's kind of a pain to open. So let's see over here. Now this I haven't tried it out yet, but I'm really excited. I plan on doing a graduation cake here. That'll be my next cake, and it's a little floating disc, which is really cool, so you can do little levitating things. And I think it only holds up to like 13 ounces, so pretty much I'd do a dummy, but that's cool. And then little party lights, little turntable, like this, kind of the little mechanical stuff. And then here, I don't know if you can see this, but I've got all my tappets in these compartments, because you can pull these out. And let me see if I can get this out of here. There we go. So if anyone ever needs any tappets, let me know. It's kind of ridiculous. But again, it's just all different size tappets. And then these are all my patchwork cutters. Just get back here. So let me try to get this open here. So these are all different patchwork cutters. I'm trying to keep like all the different types of cutters separated, so I kind of know, okay, if I want to tap it, I come over here. If I obviously want the patchwork cutters, go in that little purple box. And then here are more veiners, some cutters, mostly for flowers, that I haven't yet put in my little container and labeled them, which I'm going to show you next. So that's still to be done. And then, so we're going to go back over here to the middle. And this is probably my favorite set. These are all my flowers and veiners. So what we found was these little photo cases at Joann's. And then so I've gone in and matched all the veiners with the cutters, and labeled them. And then obviously, you know, some veiners you can are kind of universal with different flowers, and those are kind of in their own little area. But these are all, oh, I'm trying to lift this with one hand. It's kind of heavy. Sorry, hold on. Let me try to get this back in here. Okay. Ugh. Really? Sorry. Making a big loud noise here because this little thing is in the way. So sometimes I put it on the inside because I found I was bumping into it a lot when I had it on the outside. So that just might have to go. And then again, more cutters. So I've got some more of those little photo boxes that I still have yet to put the rest of my cutters and label them. Okay, now we come over to this other little set. And these are just knives and for lysing smoothers. And then here is these are my fun drawers. These are molds, and yeah, this as you can see, I'm kind of a shopaholic when it comes to cake decorating materials. And in this drawer are all my stencils and sugar rail, like lace mats. So just about every kind of stencil you could imagine, and mold, and then more molds. I tend to put everything back in the bag it came in when I use it, if it's resealable, just because I just find it a lot easier to know what I have. And then over in this compartment, oh my goodness, this one's a little heavy. Just more trays, and then like this is a little caliper, which is great for measuring. And then this is really neat. Over in the bead section in the craft stores, I use this to put my little dragées in. So I found that you can handle them a lot easier than them running all over the place. And then more trays and paint palettes. And then some long rulers. Alright, then over here we've got my ribbon cutters, a couple different fondant cutters. All here is my glue for either quilling or edible glue. Just pretty much every kind of glue is in there. Then in here I've got just some wires and sticks for modeling. In here I've got my, this is my favorite thing that I just got at SoFlo. This is this Big Mac Daddy clay extruder, because I have a hard time using these little suckers, and they don't extrude as much, so you have to sit there and redo them, and this thing will keep going for a long time, and it's very little work, so that's a great little tool. So these are just my clay extruders. And then this is more little cutter for, you know, that Wilton set that I don't use that often anymore. And then in here is just my baggies. So just a bunch of different baggies and my hole punchers. And then here are my little craft punches. Those are great for wafer paper or for scrapbooking. And then here I've got just about every type of smoother. This one's great, I find, for buttercream. It's found in the sewing section. A lot of little gadgets I found in the sewing section. And then this one I like, because it's the 90-degree angle fondant sander. Actually, that needs to go up in that other bucket. So I'm just going to pull that right out of there. And then here I've got my little stencil genie for cookies. I got this little board to put it on at SoFlo. Obviously I still haven't seen or haven't even opened it. And then some little stampers that you can just unboxing. And then these are great for making little fondant squares, like little blocks. And then here's some more texture mats. Just about every type of texture mat and anything really texturized is in there, and then more in here. Just different texture mats for fondant or buttercream even. And then bench scrapers are in here. So I'm waiting on Shauna McCready to release her bench scraper for double barrels. So hint, hint. And then got some more little fondant smoothers, some smoothers for modeling, just depending on what you need it for. So that's what's in there. Okay, so I think I've covered about all of the long table, except up top. Obviously, I've got some are just little goodies, and then the others are my cakes and flowers, just for on display. And then, of course, my cute little signs, which I absolutely love those. Just for some little humor. And then over here, we've got the little ribbon holders, which are kind of a pain to get in and out without having to take the whole thing down, but we'll see how that works out. I don't know if I'm going to keep them on the wall or not. And then my little magnet strip for my knives and icing spatulas. And then I've got my little KitchenAid in here in this room. My big one and my other mixer are in the kitchen, but this one I use for if I'm going to mix royal icing in here or gum paste. Because I obviously want my little pasta machine in here to do gum paste, and so I don't have to run in the kitchen every time I want to run something through the pasta machine. Okay, so I think I've covered pretty much the room itself. I've got a little hook on the back of my door for aprons and little jackets. Now we go into, oh wait, hold on. Up top I've got my little pictures. Well, this one's like a shadow box, and it's got the PME certificates and the apron, and then the apron that was signed at Nicholas Lodge's class, and then his certificates and pictures from his class. So that's what's up there. Okay, into the storage room. I actually had Tommy take off the door for me. I was kind of on the fence about keeping it up. It was like a bifold door, and I just found that it was just more in the way because I felt like I would have it open most of the time, so I had him take the door off. So anyway, coming in here, this was a little thing he did was get a big PVC pipe and attach it to the wall for my long dowel rods and PVC pieces, just so they didn't go flying everywhere. And then here are all the airbrush paints. I'm kind of step back over in this section. And then these holders here, like I've got this one pretty much dedicated to chocolate, and this one for isomalt. So that's kind of how I tried to keep, like I said, every medium kind of separated as best as possible. So up here you've got airbrush paints and chocolate paints, and over here are more paints. This is kind of ridiculous once I started putting all this together to realize how many colors and paints and dust I had. I was like, oh my god, I didn't know I had this much stuff. So here's my little Sugar Shack that I got at SoFlo, so I'm really excited to start using that. And then this, if you're wondering what in the world I'm doing with this. Okay, so I'm making a makeshift little dummy holder. So I got this old little turntable at a thrift store after I had purchased this one, which is just a little, you know, one you could get at Lowe's or Bed Bath & Beyond. So here's the idea, is to have this little board, and then I've got it raised with, this is a like furniture leg, and then I have that attached to that round board. And so this is going to go glued on here. And then before I do that though, I'm going to nail long nails through, probably about 2-inch nails through the bottom of this. So it's going to stick up here. And then you could put your dummies down onto it to just kind of hold them in place. And then you can, I kind of don't want to attach this to the turntable. I want to just be able to set it on this one and turn it when I need it to turn. Otherwise, you know, sometimes I don't want it to turn when I'm working on a dummy. So I thought that was I can't even remember who gave me that idea. I saw it somewhere and decided that's a really ingenious idea. So I'm going to make one. I just haven't finished making it. And then a pair of cake stands. I used to use that fondue set to keep my melts and chocolate warm and kind of a steady temperature. But now I just got this nice little lovely system that will temper your chocolate for you, which I'm really excited to play with that. And then my little candy melts and forks and napkins and just randomness. And then down here in these buckets, I've got like cake pop sticks, and then that's all my Sculpey and molding material making items in that bucket. And then this little shelf here is mostly all modeling chocolate with a little bit of cake crack. If anyone's ever used that, it's really cool. And then my Flexique and Deco Gel is there. And then you kind of turn around here, and in here I plan on putting the rest of my tips and then labeling those. I just haven't gotten that far yet. And then down in here is like extra fondant and gum paste that I've colored and used, and it was just extra and it was still good, so I've got that in there to use as I need them. And then this is just extra little glue guns and fill pads and magnets. And then let's see, I'm trying to do this as best as possible in this closet. This is really tight quarters, but let me walk around here. And then here's my fondant shelf. And I've got it kind of all separated by brands. And so I've got Fantasia, which is really nice. I just tried it out for the first time not too long ago, and I really like it. And then I've got Satin Ice. And then this is my Massa shelf. Karma fondant, which is awesome. And then here's my Renshaw shelf. This is kind of ridiculous, but let's see. And then up here I have all my sparkles and little dragées. And then all my old Wilton cookie icing and stuff that's to play with the kids kind of thing. I don't use it really anymore. And then same with the Wilton fondant. That's just stuff to play with. I've got a little bit of Satin Ice. Little travel, I guess, I can't think of the word right now, but sample, that's the word. And then again, like the Sweet Shop fondant, that's just really just to play around with. And then I haven't tried that Fonderific. I actually got that through like a Craftsy, like cake of the month kind of thing, and they send you everything you need for this particular cake, and I think that's what got set with that. And then that's my Sugar Dress and Sugarville for the lace mats. And then over here, let's go move over here. Okay, my tool bag. And then back here are more silicone mats and the mats, which are great to roll out fondant. And then my dehydrators. I got these, one of them from Lisa Hutchinson's class, and then I went and got another one at Walmart because they work so good. And those are to kind of dry my gum paste flower petals, and it's awesome, and they're cheap at Walmart, like 40 bucks. And then up here is everything from the cupcakes, and that little container there, and then little paper plates, my induction burners, which I don't know that I'd use it a lot in here. It just depends. I might have to move this back in the kitchen. I'm just not sure. We'll see. And then all my bubble tea straws and dowel rods. And then, see over here, my little whipped cream maker and charger. And then my little heat mixing bowl from KitchenAid, and then pasta attachments. And then all down here is pretty much all structure stuff. I've got my big boards, and then of course this is Dom Perrod's turntable, which is a locking tilt turntable, which I love, and I use that for royal icing mainly. And then a little cake frame and sugar structures. And then here, I love these. I just got these at SoFlo, and there's a guy in Brazil that has them. And they're super, super cheap for cake stands. And let me just get a smaller one out so I don't have to kind of drag one of the big ones out. But they are, let me just get a little one, MDF boards. And they're food safe. And they've already got the legs secured on the bottom, which is so awesome. And they're super inexpensive and reusable. So I've got the whole set from like 6 to 24 in square and rounds. And they're just so awesome. I'm really excited about those. That was one of my great finds at SoFlo. And then cake boards, my turntable expander, foam boards. And then basically all of this is cake boards and more cake boards and cake drums and masonite boards. Just a whole bunch of boards and drums. And then more turntables. And then a whole bunch of foam and dummies. And then these are awesome at Joann's. These face forms, which are great to practice modeling faces on. I kind of use those as a guide when I'm playing around with modeling faces, which I'm still not real great at, but thought that was great. And they're like $5 at Joann's, so they're pretty awesome. And then more cake dummies. And then my couple jackets, and then these are just some more kind of cake stands. And then if I move this out of the way, these are my little cupcake carriers. Down over here, I'm trying to get down the bottom, and little cake pop stands, you know, the disposable ones. And then let's see, let me stand up. These are my airbrush booths, which I put back in the box after I use them, just because I plan on setting up an area in the garage to have these, but for now they're just back in the box, and I get them out when I need them. And then in that box there is my new cake safe, which I have not put together yet. And then in here are all my little PVC pieces. So just about little T, every T and elbow and straight little tools. So when you're building structures. And then all my like boards are under there. I don't know if you can see them, but they're kind of hidden underneath there on the bottom, underneath that shelf. So, I mean, I've got stuff in every area I think you could possibly imagine. So, okay, I think I've gone through my entire cake room and storage, which this is just a big, huge walk-in closet, which is kind of like, I call it my Harry Potter closet, because it's literally under the stairs on the other room. And it just goes around and around, which is so awesome. And the room itself is not that big, believe it or not. It's this wall here is 12 feet and 6 inches long. Or like, yeah, I don't want to say like 12.6. And then I think that wall is 9, no, it's like 10.5 feet maybe. So it's not a huge room, but I really tried to utilize every possible inch, and then some of it. And then when you go out in the hallway, and excuse the mess, because literally I just finished this room, so I've still got stuff everywhere, and we just moved in, so we're still putting away everything. But let me move this ladder out of the way. Sorry. And so in here, this is the half bath, or well, actually it's full size bath because it has a shower, but that is the bathroom. and it's got an area to go outside, but this was supposed to be the linen closet for that bathroom. Well, I made it my baking pantry. Because no one takes a shower down here, and we don't have a pool put in yet, so it's not really a pool bath right now. So I'm using this whole linen closet for my baking pantry. So that's what all this stuff is. Just all my flavorings and anything needed basically to make a cake is pretty much in here. So that's what this closet is. So again, like, this is my little happy area. So this is kind of Amy's suite when you walk in. But I'm just so excited. I finally got this done. And this has kind of been a labor of love. And it's been a lot of fun and a lot of cut knuckles and bruises on my legs and you name it. But it's been so much fun to design and put together and just really have a place for all my stuff. So I'm really excited. And again, like, I still have way too many books that I need to put away. So still kind of working that out. Might have to put it in my office, but I'd like to have my cake books in here as well. So again, I'm thinking about the little window seat idea with bookshelves underneath, but we shall see. So anyway, everybody, it was nice to finally show you the room. And like I said, if anyone has any questions or would like a link to where I purchased this little holder or that tool or this product, just let me know. Obviously, I have a huge cake decorating tool addiction. So if you are looking for something, I can probably 99% of the time I can find it for you, and because that's what I do. So anyway, it's been fun, and we'll see you later. Bye.